Well, if that 11 is true, if that is the starting lineup Ancelotti is going to use tonight against Arsenal at home to make a comeback, I no longer know if I think it's good or bad, honestly. In this moment of urgency and madness that could be experienced tonight, one might say, well, okay, but it's either triumph or failure. I assume you all understand the bullfighting analogy, right? What's left? What's left? Well, some may think with a more normal lineup, because in the end they're 90 minutes and 3 goals can come in 15 or 20. Yes, maybe, but I don't know. I don't see it as completely bad. I don't see it as completely bad because there's something, a little chill that it gives me when I see it, and I don't know if it's good or bad. But since it's a match where you already have to start feeling something beforehand, like a sort of bugle call of epicness and madness, well, it has that slightly surreal touch that makes you think, okay, let's go for it. Then we'll talk about it. And I'll show you a composition I made with the help of being here experimenting with artificial intelligence, and it makes very fun combinations, you know? You've probably seen it on social media, right? All those photo montages that have been made with the theme of the asylum doors, etc., and all that liturgy that's being prepared. And even that very particular jargon of the crazy nights at the Bernabeu, of comebacks fueled in recent years, which is very funny, really very
funny. I was saying here the innovation yesterday, but if we've already criticized them beforehand, maybe we're gonna until they have a chant the worst. I'm thinking, going a mess up again, or do we get excited? Well,
let's get excited, right? And that's where we are. See, I've already had that first pre-match burst, right? Well, before we get into that, the thing with Barca, there was a moment in the Barca match when we all thought, and if yes, well, what if they mess up again? Because goodness, of course, these people are used to it. Though they have given us many afternoons, nights of glory in the springs of recent years. Well, and not springs, as these people were already eliminated in winter, and then they also got beaten in the Europa League. In fact, yesterday marked 3 years since that magical night of Eintracht Frankfurt at Camp Nou, which, well, they filled Camp Nou, this Santos Borré shot from his house, scored a great goal, they thrashed them there, it was a marvel in the Europa League, right? And, well, of course, these people were excited to reach the Champions League semifinals after 6 years. But I insist, and I was talking about it with the good Paul Tenorio in X, if what the match had too much of, it was that own goal of theirs and an offside goal by Dortmund, which would have been the 4th. If one thing hadn't happened and the other had, well, there we had the 4-0. And of course, if my grandmother had wheels, she wouldn't be my grandmother, she'd be a bicycle, I know. But it could have happened. I mean, Barca lost 3-1. It's just that that's how you have to play the referees. That's how you have to play against them. You can beat them. Absolutely, you can beat them. I mean, they get scared. I mean, yesterday, Dortmund, that happens. They position themselves there, well, with 3-0 or with 4-1. They position themselves with 4-1. Let's go. There they start to everyone has diarrhea, clearly. But, oh, well, they already have their semifinals because they did their job at Montjuic with that goal given to Rafinha, which for me should not have been, because remember the semi-automatic lines they drew and where Rafinha's foot was on the little character. And in reality, I mean, a very strange thing, right? I believe that Dortmund didn't protest to UEFA because they probably don't have an international fan club union otherwise. But hey, it's great, they're in the semifinals, they're cheerful, just like Madrid tonight. And if Madrid doesn't do it, I mean, Madrid has 15. They've won all they've wanted in recent years. These people have been making a fool of themselves year after year. But what are they boasting about? Right? But I insist, let's see, by the way. One thing, apart from that, you can play very well against Barca. You can do a lot of damage to them, right? It should be noted how it seems Ancelotti. But, well, for that we have to wait a few days for the Copa final. For now, we need to focus on tonight's game, and we'll talk about the other thing later. Barça without Pedri. Barça without Pedri suffers a lot, huh? Well, I think it was 11 shots from Dortmund compared to 2 from Barça. Careful, right? The statistics were tremendous. And the first 20 minutes of the match were a disgrace for Barça, but a shame. But they got through, I insist, because they already did the work in the first leg. Paris Saint-Germain also got through while struggling, and if we win and advance, they would be our rival, and they're on fire. Although, not so much, because Aston Villa gave them some challenges. That is another problem. And, well, before going into tonight's madness, something I did not comment on yesterday, and it is this matter of the statement of the accused witnesses in the Barcelona Negreira case that the new judge, who is no longer Judge Aguirre, the person in charge of the investigation of the case, remember that Judge Aguirre retired, and now there is a new judge who is already in an investigation that is already super long. It doesn't make any sense to me that this started in the spring, well, almost winter of 2023, and we've been investigating the case for 2 years. It's just, you tell anyone, well, you tell them anyway, people are more than informed, and they say, but how is it possible that Barça has not paid? No one has paid here yet, in the Negreira matter. Administratively, we already know why, because the case expired, but, well, criminally, well, it's ongoing, but the proceedings are taking a long time and will last even longer because the testimony of the witnesses and defendants is being postponed. They were going to go through there, the Roussel, Bartomeu and company. From what I've heard, I saw it on a tweet earlier from Nera, our good friend from the channel, Ricardo Ramos Nera. It's because apparently the defense lawyers and so on, they have other trials at that time. I think this was going to be in June, and they were not going to be able to. Well, and it would be after summer because, of course, then they take their vacations, of course, the judiciary. So, well, anyway, it's just ridiculous. Well, come on, let's go. The Madhouse of, look at some combinations I've done. Really cool, really cool. Here, I think this is what I was telling you about before, right? About the theme of the liturgy. A word to the wise will know why I put all this. Don't you remember the image of Zidane there on the sideline on a rainy day in a match in Valdebebas, I think it was. And then they portrayed him as if he were a wizard. This will sound familiar because it's a thumbnail, from the other day, from the video I made with Eloy Lesina, which is Mbappe with a straitjacket, as if it were an asylum. Then, well, there are the ghosts that appear, the witch Rudiger, and the bearded woman, which is a phrase that accompanies. It's about Ama, which may be what you want, but he's a guy who's made a big name for... He has been the narrator of the main one on the radio in recent years and has talked about everything about Madrid, right? All this has its own universe. It's that Madrid, the comebacks, the nights at the Bernabeu, the springs of the champions and such have their own universe. And these guys from Arsenal, who are a great team, have very good footballers, certainly a better team than Real Madrid as a whole, as a collective, in terms of routines, in terms of preparation and all that. Well, for many of them, the vast majority, except for 2 or 3, I think it's going to be the first time they set foot in the Bernabeu. And hey, the bearded lady will appear, Zidane will be there, I imagine in a box, not in this outfit, but you know what I mean? A little ghost, Rudiger and his things, Mbappe unleashed, never better said, because what's at stake is constrained like a straitjacket, but doing the opposite. And hey, maybe we'll see things, right? Maybe we'll see some things. I think everything has been discussed in the conversations we've had with Eloy Lesina and Quique Recio. I think they have been very, very fun. If you haven't seen these videos, please take a look at them. If you want to do one of those hours-long pre-game sessions, okay, well, go ahead. They are recorded on the channel, but above all, we need to talk. About this, about the starting 11, I think it was Rodra, the one who said it yesterday, who assured that Ancelotti had prepared this. What's more, Ancelotti in a press conference says they have prepared something, that he wasn't going to tell it to the person asking, but they have prepared something. And what they theoretically have prepared, what they've prepared, or rather, is this. Courtois in goal. Watch out. Asensio, Tchouaméni, Rudiger, Alaba, Sure, Asensio here, right back. The test we did back then didn't go well, but well, he's a fast guy who, look, well, when it comes to, anyway, it makes sense now if we go further, line by line, but it happens because Rodrigo and Vinicius do an amazing defensive job. I imagine he has talked with them. It said there was a sort of intense, let's say, strong pep talk from Ancelotti saying, hey, you guys, I mean, if not, you know, I've always said that this season Ancelotti tells them things they have to do, but for some reason, either they don't listen to him or this man doesn't motivate as he should, or maybe the cycle is simply over and such. Well, they might have one last chance, which I hope is not the last, of course, because after this comes the cup final, the conclusion of LaLiga, and if you win here, then you have the semi-finals. I mean, but I think they can give what the coach asks if this is the lineup, because Asensio will need a lot of help, a lot of coverage. I don't know if Ceballos and Valverde are switched here, huh? I think it would be the opposite. Valverde on the right side of that double pivot, Ceballos on the left side to support, of course, Alaba, and Valverde to support Asensio. They'll have to do it. And then Rodrigo and Vinicius leaving Mbappe up in a more fixed position, but Rodrigo and Vinicius sticking to the sideline and covering the field offensively and defensively, right? With Bellingham in the position of that third element in the center of the field. And boy, if that's it, well, let it be. So let's go all in. And if we have to appeal to madness, well, with this lineup, I think we are making a great tribute, honestly. Hey, one last thing. This leaves us a little above, right? There's something that leaves me a bit down, and it's the following. It's about the tifo, man. It's got me very confused. Yes, it's the tifo that's at the Bernabeu. Because you must have seen it on social media, right? Yeah, it's a thing. Look, I don't think this is gonna be the tifo, but it's something they've placed in the fan stand, the cheer stand at the Bernabeu, which in the shorter photo didn't seem like it was it seemed to me that it was, well, another stadium. It wouldn't make much sense if it were from another stadium, really, because it's Real Madrid themed. But the champions, my obsession, and a guy drawn as if my son had drawn it with a pen, as he now makes these drawings with a European Cup. Well, what can I say? And with a sign that says, Todos de Blanco. Yes. Well, hopefully everyone will wear white, but come on. If we're going to show that, it kind of breaks my heart. I hope not. Hey, I hope not. I hope not. With the recreations we've seen, look, here it is. Is this. No, it's not very clear, but with the recreations, I insist. We have seen all of them with artificial intelligence. Now with ChatGPT, which does wonders. Well, the one I made earlier with these characters from this liturgy of comebacks, the Welcome to the Madhouse thing something. Gods of Madrid, we have seen many of those, something like that, and not this. I, again, hope it is not like that, but, well, I almost prefer all little white signs and done, But, well, the Kings of Europe and such. I think it will be something more like that. Well, I don't know if I'll make a video at noon. If something happens there, we'll do it. And if not, we'll see each other. We'll see each other at night, and it's likely that we'll go live because, of course, I am not going to be in the stadium this time, okay? I am not going to be in the stadium. I have seen many of these at the stadium, and I have been there on great nights. But today was not the day. Today was not the day. So, nothing. Let's join forces, even if it's telepathically, and let's trust. See you in the next one. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to the channel, comment, share, and that's it. Have a good day. And later, the madness, the frenzy, and the epic. Bye.